All right, brothers and sisters, welcome back to The Last Dispensation. You're living in it. The Last Dispensation, that is. I am your host, Troy. We're going to react together to a video by Jake Hansen. He's got a YouTube channel called Thoughtful Faith. He might have a podcast. I'm not too familiar with him. I saw him a few times on Midnight Mormons. However, we are going to react to this. What is going on at
BYU Black Menaces are members
BYU?
of BYU's Black Student Union.
There we
They
go.
explicitly called themselves revolutionaries who are working to reform predominantly white institutions like BYU, because apparently too many white people is problematic.
I thought the white people were going to be a little better and not as bad as they are.
I remind you.
That guy in the background. That's exactly what I thought. Are people at BYU mean? I don't know. I've never been there. Are they racist? And what is racism? What is racist? What is the definition of racism and being racist? Anyway, it's changed. We used to say prejudice, that all people were prejudiced, or all people had prejudices in them, and they do. People drop the racist word like nothing today, but it has a different definition.
That no man who makes disparaging remarks concerning those of another race can consider himself a true disciple of Christ.
The Black Menaces at BYU even don the classic black berets worn by the paramilitary Black Panthers and Marxist revolutionaries. Needless to say, they don't have a very high opinion of the tithing-funded school that they attend.
Go back and study where activism comes from.
I didn't know it was going to be this racist, honestly. I just kind of came here thinking my faith was going to get strengthened. But here we are.
This is actually pretty ironic when you consider the fact that many of them are there on scholarship and don't pay anything at all.
Rachel.
The other girl back here, let me play this again.
Of them are there on scholarship and don't pay anything at all.
I just kind of came here thinking my faith was going to get strengthened.
Your faith was going to get strengthened. Are you trying to strengthen your faith?
But here we are.
This is actually pretty ironic when you consider the fact that many of them are there on scholarship and don't pay anything at all.
Rachel, what's your favorite thing about BYU?
I go to school here for free. BYU pays me.
Now, the Black Menaces are likely the most popular
One thing comes to mind when I see that. Spoiled brat.
content creators at BYU. They recently had 18 million views on a single video and millions more views on their other videos as they go around BYU campus asking students questions about race, gender, sexuality, feminism, etc.
The work of the adversary may be likened to loading guns of opposition to the work of God. Salvos containing germs of contention are aimed and fired at strategic targets essential to that holy work. These vital targets include, in addition to the individual, the family, leaders of the church, and divine doctrine.
We all have problematic thinking. If they think they don't think problematically at times, then they are fooling themselves.
Is a trans woman a woman? Is a trans man a man?
Honestly, I have no way of answering that. I actually don't know any trans person. But I think just kind of whatever they really choose, it's up to them, and everybody else can kind of do their own thing.
Do you support gay marriage?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Someone wants to do that.
Perfect, thank you.
It does not take long to figure out what they're doing. They have over 500,000 followers on TikTok, ready to shame any BYU student who gives an answer that steps out of line with their ideology.
Personally, no. I understand like the view of gay marriage.
Every time I see one of those BYU videos on my For You page,
I can't believe some of these young men that won't stand up for what's right. Are they showing the other young men and women that give pretty good answers? That are standing up for truth and righteousness, maybe quoting scriptures, quoting leaders.
like I'm floored every time. I don't know what I expect, but like every time I'm like, get out of here. What? There's a whole school full of these kids? Like, what do you mean you don't think gay people should have rights? Like, where did you come?
Nobody said gay people should not have rights. We're talking about the definition of marriage. It's between a man and a woman. That's what the definition of marriage is.
From? Where's he been?
Like at BYU?
Just in general.
Probably. Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate on that at all?
Honestly, I haven't looked into it very much.
Do we think minorities should be seen in public? That is a hard one though. I'm gonna say no, just because.
So the question is, should queer students be allowed to date on campus?
Oh, that's a tough question. I've never really thought about it, so I don't know if I have an opinion right now.
Oof, that is a tough one. That is a tough one. I want to say yes. 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 But it's just so...
What they are doing is not new. It's the classic village shaming tactic.
We have found the witch, may we burn her!
The idea is to shame people who disagree with their worldview as racist, sexist, homophobic, etc.
I mean, I guess it just depends, like, the context in which you're asking that question. It's just something I don't mind that they do, but I wouldn't say I'm willing to really support it. Would I have to watch it happen? Then no.
Lehi described multitudes in the great and spacious building that were pointing the finger of scorn at him and those partaking of the fruit. His response to the jeers and insults is magnificent and memorable, but we heeded them not.
In today's digital age, you can only imagine the pressure created by a mob of 500,000 online followers ready to pounce on any young person if they don't give the right answer.
Okay. The question is, does reverse racism exist?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I forgot. I got
Why is she apologizing? Of course it exists. Amongst all people harbor prejudices. They do. This person right here, definitely, this group harbors prejudices against Caucasian people, white people. They do. That's what motivates them. It exists. We used to call it prejudice. We didn't say racist. Racism was something a lot bigger and more ominous and eviler. And it had to do with like what happened during World War II, and when a race like openly comes out and says that they are the superior race. That's what I learned. Prejudices, everyone has them.
confused. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Sorry.
Now, if any of the Black Menace group feels misrepresented in any way, I would like to invite them to come on my podcast to clarify what they're doing and discuss why they are engaging in this sort of activism. The reality is that the BYU students that they ask their questions to are woefully unprepared. So in my next video, I will contrast our poor BYU students' answers with those of experts who use facts, logic, and data to answer the Black Menace's questions appropriately. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and hit the subscribe button. Also, if you want more content, including the podcast, go to thoughtful-faith.com. Thanks for watching.
Okay, shout out to Jake Hansen and Thoughtful Faith. He has other videos. Go subscribe to him. I'll leave his link and some other links as well. I'd like to read you something, if I may. Many of our world's problems are a direct result of clashes between those of different ideas and customs arising from their culture. But virtually all conflict and chaos would quickly fade if the world would only accept its original culture, the one we all possessed not so very long ago. This culture dates back to our premortal existence. It was the culture of Adam and Enoch. It was the culture founded on the Savior's teachings in the meridian of time. And it is available to all women and men once again in our day. It is unique. It is the greatest of all cultures and comes from the great plan of happiness, authored by God and championed by Christ. It unites rather than divides. It heals rather than harms. And that is from... see if I can find it. I should have been more prepared. The Culture of Christ. This was a general conference talk that was given back in October 2020 by Elder William K. Jackson. Actually, it was of the 70. It was an excerpt from his talk. And it's a really good talk. You should read it. All right, that's it.